A little bit earlier today I was looking through some bits and bobs in a box and I came across this. This is my old MP3 player, which is compatible with an old cassette player in my car. So I have used this previously, but not for a long time, and I actually thought I'd lost it. So I thought it might be nice just to make a very short video, if that's possible on my channel, and have a look at this and see if it actually works still. So the principle is quite straightforward. It has a head here which outputs the audio, so you can just put this into your cassette deck. Now I think the wheels will turn around on here. I think they're actually in gear. Yeah, as you can see, if I turn that one turns as well. So that's often a requirement in cassette players, that the tape is actually kind of moving, the spools are moving. What's nice about this though is it's got an isolation switch, so you can turn it off, so basically disconnect the battery. So there's a lithium battery inside. It's also got an SD card slot here, room for a standard SD card I guess, but I'll have a play about and see what size it does accept. And then it's got the kind of old school USB socket there, which kind of precedes a lot of other ones that are out there now. And it's got a 3.5mm headphone jack, so it's even got a little amplifier in for the headphone jack. And you've got volume here, up and down, that's right, and an equalizer setting, and you can move your tracks as well, so you can go backwards, forwards, and you can do play or pause. I'm not sure if holding down for longer than a second kind of lets you skip through part of that track. It might just jump you to the next one, I'm not too sure. But that's it. And they did make quite a few of these, so I remember seeing lots of these for sale at one point in time. I don't know if they're as popular now. I guess the main thing is see if I've got a card that might be compatible. There's a 32MB multimedia card there, so non-descript SD card, probably not very big. There's a 2GB one there, that should be okay. Another one of these MMCs. These precede obviously SD cards. I've got some adapters as well. There's a gig. So these are all quite small, aren't they? Probably 2GB is the maximum that I can put in for now. A Lexor SD card. It won't go in that way, so it's kind of... Oh, it won't go in that way either. Oh, it does a line up. There it is, that's better. Now, I'm sure that these had a LED indicator light when they were kind of working or loading up. So you do need a connector like that. There you go. So when I go off, yeah, it goes off. It's not the fastest. Maybe it's USB 1 or something. It's looking very slow, isn't it? I'm just deciding to cancel this final copy of that number 13 file, because it seemed to have got itself into a bit of a pickle. I just had to pull the thing out, the computer, and the blue light's gone off, red light's still on. Let's just power cycle it a minute. Yeah, no, it's not showing anything. Okay, well, at least maybe that only shows when it's connected. So I'll press play. Can't hear anything at the moment. Let me press again. Oh, it's working. Now the minimum volume is still quite high, so when it's off you can't hear anything. Yeah, quite high. How loud does it go? It's quite loud. What about EQ? Expect more bass. So treble in between. I think maybe 3 settings. The bassy one is the best one. So that does seem to be working as expected. So you hold it in and that does forward through the track and then let go. And then if you just do a short press, it does just jump to the next track. So as a kind of funky MP3 player, that's quite neat, isn't it? Now some other ways to get music onto these things would be to use these kind of plug-in adapters. So this one takes a regular size card, like so. And this one will take the micro version, which is quite handy if this just took a micro one, which I suppose maybe it might work, it might not. What you'd have to do is take this card out and then put this one in, the adapter. There you are. So that's in. Now I've got a card here, it's 64 gigabytes. I don't expect this to work with that. It's a little bit risky having it like that because you might lose the card, but maybe a little bit of tape on there. Anyway, like I say, I don't expect that to work. I will try it though. So I've copied the files onto this. And I'm going to try to... I better turn that off. So it's complaining, isn't it? It's doing this double flash or triple flash. A little bit tricky to get out these ones. This was obviously designed before these adapters even existed. So I've got to put it back in there just to test this adapter. I'm going to put it into here. Put that one away for a minute. So I'm just going to look at properties for this. So it's FAT32 and it's saying 32 gigabytes. I thought that was a 64. Integral 64 gigabytes. Is that one of those dodgy ones? I'm going to have to force format that then. So format, we'll just, yeah, it's just saying 26.9. I'm using a tool now called SD card formatter. This can actually see it. It says it's an SDXC and it is capacity of 58.94. Just to show you. That's certainly reporting better, isn't it, on size? It's in there. It's showing up error, so that's definitely out of limits for this. But I do want to test one that might be above 4 gigabytes if I can find one. I decided I'll try this 8 gigabyte card. So just the usual process, get some music onto there. So this is an SDHC card. Okay, that one's in. Turn on. Play. So this is definitely an error again. So as expected, this is too big a card. Now, was there any SD cards that went beyond 4 gigabytes that weren't HC? I vaguely remember there being something said about some dodgy cards that did do that. They weren't kind of proper ones. So that does mean that my limit is probably at 4 gigabytes. At least I know I can run a 2 gigabyte card in there, which it's not bad. I mean, you've got people heavily invested in mini discs and they like their 1 gigabyte discs. They've glued these to stop you from taking them apart, I think. Definitely sealed with a little bit of glue. Plastic's a little bit soft on the side. I'll just show you what I can see. And you can see in there's a rather nice battery, which is a little bit gum sticky battery to look at. I reckon that would work in the Sony Mini Disc N10 as a spare battery. Look at the dimensions of it. It kind of goes to about here, from here to here. This is a picture of one that's been taken apart, and you can see what I mean about the battery. It's a gum stick kind of size battery. Maybe it is a little bit too thick to be one that you can use in a mini disc. Decided I'm not going to take it apart at this stage, but I have learned something. I like the way that's sprung loaded as well. Just like a reversed head. Now, the version I've got might be a version 1. I can't remember, but there's a version 2 that has a remote control with it, and it does say it does support STHC. So I think I've got the original one here, and they did make a second one in the same shell, so machining costs all saved, didn't reprint anything by the looks of it, but they did beef it up to use with a remote control and the ability to read bigger cards. And this is what I found out about the spec. So it says it can take up to 16GB memory cards and 256 kilobits per second. Here is an old AWA. It's a CSD A300, one of the last AWA tape recorders. It's very much a Sony, I think, by this point, but it's got the very modern AWA logo here. I think this was bought by myself, brand new, end of line. Oh, it's got to be a long time ago, probably 27, 28 years ago, something like that. Right, so there's the tape. Make sure it's switched on, and I wonder if I need to just hit play and see what happens. That is the right way in. Yeah. Turn it down. And it works. Tape that's not a tape. I hope you found this video interesting. Please like and subscribe, and I will make some more videos in the future. Bye for now.